Horvath.
Yeah.
Do you see his own goal?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a nightmare, the goalkeeping position. Welcome back to Yanks Abroad. We have the first Premier League match week almost complete. Tottenham has yet to play. We're recording this Sunday night. Will, your Arsenal got off to a fantastic start, as well as some good results for some teams in the middle of the pack. I thought played extremely well.
Yeah, definitely.
Give me your biggest takeaway from weekend one.
I mean, my biggest takeaway is that Bukayo Saka is the best right winger in the world. He just is. I mean, I think it just gets forgotten about because he got so good at such a young age, but he's still just 22 years old. And he gets better every year. And we just saw that in this game. He took a stranglehold on the game in the second half where it was kind of turning into a bit of a basketball match. I think we didn't really have full control. Thomas Partey's legs are gone, and I just don't want to see him much more. But Saka took the ball over and over again, drove at the goal, made things happen, finally put one away, and he did this. And I think, just seeing his, I know in the U.S. aura has become such a big thing with basketball and whatnot, but just seeing his aura grow from this little kid who was a left back, he was a skinny little thing, and now becoming a right winger, and he just is a top 3 player in the Premier League and the best right winger in the world, and I just don't think there's a question about it. And if Arsenal are going to win the Premier League this year, it's because he's going to have a 20-plus goal season, a 10-plus goal assist season, and he's going to be the Premier League Player of the Year. And that's what I said in our preview show, and I think he showed this weekend that what he can do now is against the Wolves, against Ait Nouri, who's a great left back but not a great defensive left back. If you don't double him every time he gets the ball, he's going to make you pay. And the more he does that, the more he's going to rise in the world rankings and help Arsenal win trophies.
I completely agree. I unfortunately did not get the chance to watch the whole match, but I watched the extended highlights, and he was unplayable. It was actually insane. I think that's the best I've seen him ever play. The finish that I love when they cut in and do that cutback finish to the near post.
That's the Mbappe trademark.
Yeah, and then obviously the ball he played to Havertz was a joke. It would have been a 10 out of 10 performance if he didn't dive. I just wish he didn't dive.
I don't think it was a dive.
It was a dive. There was contact, but he didn't fall until he realized he could stay up, and then the ball was lost.
Yeah, I don't call it a dive when he did get contact, and then I think he tried to fight back to the ball and realized he wasn't going to. And so. Well, that's his best bet. I mean, why not?
No.
I mean, first of all, it is a penalty. He got completely tackled.
No, I agree. It was a foul.
That's the annoying part, right? If he goes to the ground immediately,
I agree.
A penalty.
That's the age-old thing we've been talking about forever.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't really. That didn't bother me. I think it's a penalty, which is more annoying than anything. So.
And then Marino was left out of the squad.
I think that deal's getting done.
Yeah.
I think we're making sure Nketiah or Reece Nelson leave first before that gets done, because I do actually think I don't know what it is, but I understand that there's something else that's going to happen. So.
For Arsenal?
Yes, this window.
Like a left wing replacement?
Not necessarily a replacement. I don't even know if it's an attacker. The different things I've heard is it's an attacker who can play across the front line. I've heard it's another attacking midfield.
Is this from your source?
A couple different sources I have now. But
now?
Yeah.
You've leveled out. That's
a little
huge.
bit of a level up. But who knows if anything will happen.
Him being left out of the squad, I think, pretty much goes to show.
And also once the Zubimendi deal fell apart, Sociedad knew they were losing one of them. Right. And Marino has 1 year left on his contract. They're not going to let him leave for free in a year.
Yeah.
So.
No, I thought Arsenal were very impressive. My only thing is I think I predicted Wolves to get relegated, and they kind of looked like a relegation favorite. They just, after losing Neto, I looked at that squad and they just have no talent.
I will say I was really impressed by the Norwegian striker they have on loan from Celta Vigo, Larson.
By
He's
the way,
strong and fast. And
give credit when, that's a sick save going across his body.
Well, that's the thing about him. He's not the greatest shot stopper if he's not in a good position, but he's really good at being in the right position, I think. And so he was in that position.
No, that was a great strong hand. Yeah, Arsenal looked good. Moving to probably the biggest match of the weekend, Man City-Chelsea. We were talking right before we put the cameras on. You said you didn't think Chelsea looked good. I thought they were actually pretty competitive. The big thing is Nicholas Jackson cannot start for Chelsea if they're going to be good. I mean, he's so active, and you want him to be good because he causes so many issues, and he gets into so many good places, and then he loses focus. He's offsides.
Yeah, the offside was unbelievable.
You just can't be offsides because there's a chance that there's going to be a ricochet and you can tap that home. But my biggest takeaway from the Man City Chelsea match is you were saying it and I didn't believe it, but De Bruyne did not look good at all. He looked slow. He looked uninvolved.
Well,
This could be because he had a short camp.
They had very much no preseason.
Yeah.
Foden played 0 preseason minutes. Kyle Walker played 0 preseason minutes. Like, I'm impressed that they got a 2-0 win. I thought they would have at least leaked a goal.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we know the squad depth's ridiculous with them, but it's less deep than it ever has been under Pep, really, other than the first year.
And Oscar Bob's
injured. But
I think,
Lewis,
by the way,
I think we forgot a little bit about how good Rico Lewis
Yeah.
is, and he was incredible in this game. I was listening to both the Holland and the Pep interviews after this game, and Pep was like, he literally said, Rico Lewis is the best receiver of a ball between the lines I've ever coached. And for him to say that, who has coached pretty much all of the best in the history at doing specifically that, like, I think we're just forgetting how deep that squad is and how good the academy is. Like, they have so many, like, Oscar Bob's an academy player, Rico Lewis, like, there are more and more. James McAtee's going to play a role for them this year. Like, they're still going to be great. Holland's goal was spectacular. I think if Kovacic gets up to full speed, like,
he looked very,
very good. I mean, they're obviously still incredible. I just think they're not as unbeatable as they were.
I agree. They showed flaws. I think that's to Chelsea's credit a little bit. Like, they were really direct on the counter when Man City left themselves open a little. That also comes with Rodri.
But even Rodri's not a
pitch.
good transition defender.
No,
that is always how City are you're much more capable of beating City on the counter than you are Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I think that especially right now, like with Walker not having played and all the injuries that they have, they're susceptible to those early losses. The question will be, are they able to do what they always do, which is finish the year on 20 wins?
By the way, Pep's interview where he talked about he doesn't have ambition to win the
Premier League. But then I heard
right
another interview, that interview I was just talking about, where he said the exact opposite. So I don't know if that was like a clip taken out of context or what, because I haven't seen that full interview.
But the clip that was taken out of context potentially was like kind of crazy. He was like, I mean, he said kind of what we all know to be true, where it's like when you win 5 in a row, like how motivated are you until it's right in front of you in that last month of the season? But once again, the levels that Arsenal are going to be at, they can't afford to do.
100%.
Like, I don't think everyone keeps talking about Arsenal will inevitably collapse. Like, I don't know if that will happen this year. I think there's too much.
I mean, I think getting
experience.
in like Calafiori, like people always like, oh, you got another defender spent money, but like that gives us a situation like prior, if you lose Saliba or Gabriel, like we are no longer as good as Manchester City. I think that's why we do something like that. Whereas like even though Partey isn't playing great, like you lose Rice, you still have Partey and Jorginho. Like every other position, pretty much, other than Saka, but like if City were to lose Holland, they'd be in the same situation. Like everyone's got one player that's completely unreplaceable.
Yeah.
But I agree. I mean, the thing I was thinking with Chelsea is just like, number one, it's not like this same group of players is going to play every week, right? So like, are they going to get better week after week?
I think. It's so stupid because we fall into the same situation to where they have a ton of talented players, and if you give a good coach time and you figure out his 11, you get the best out of them. What Pochettino ended up doing, but now Maresca has to do the exact same thing, where he has to filter through a squad of 43 players to figure out what his best 11 is, and that takes half a season. So then you're in mid-table, and then you're in the exact same position that you were with Pochettino.
100%.
Two things is Lavia was fantastic. I thought he was put under a lot of pressure, and the way he was able to control the ball, like he couldn't have been less concerned when he was being put under pressure. It was really impressive. And on the flip side, Enzo.
Well, here's the issue, like with this squad that's gonna come over and over again. I saw that lineup come out, and I'm like, who is the progressor of these three midfielders? You have three guys who want to be deep line playmakers. Yes, Lavia and yes, Caicedo like to carry the ball, but you have three guys who like to receive the ball and play in front of them. You have nobody who likes to receive the ball between the lines. You have nobody who's really a truly progressive player. You have a bunch of volume passers. Like, I don't understand how they're going to figure it all out, on top of the fact that they spent £200 million on goalkeepers, and Robert Sanchez is still a fucking goalkeeper. Like, I don't understand.
Because, by the way, a better goalkeeper saves that Kovacic shot. It's a good finish, but it's savable.
I mean, you would think with the amount of money they spent, they're saving that. But if you put all 8 of them in there that they have.
Yeah. And then, like, as you said, in Cuckoo, you literally said it before it started, they're going to put him out left, which is not his best position. I actually think with the addition of Petro Neto, who can play on the left side, and Palmer on the right side, and Cuckoo at the 10, I feel like makes the most sense with Lavia and Caicedo. I feel like that's enough protection to play that 3 behind. It's very expansive, But
it's just like the issue is Nkunku and Cole Palmer kind of are both similar players, and the neither of them want to be all the way wide. They both want to receive the ball.
Stayed kind of
right,
wide.
and didn't have a great game.
Correct.
So
no, you're right.
So
you're right.
I just think it's just like when you have 43 players, you're gonna have redundancy. Yeah. That's a lock. So how do we figure out the redundancy? By the way, they still don't have a left back who's really that good with all this fucking money they spent.
How after Ian Matson's season at Dortmund did they think that it made sense to let him go?
And he was wonderful for us.
Yeah, I mean that's where I wanted to go next. Is my other biggest takeaway was I think there's going to be a ton of parity in the Premier League this season with how quality. I mean, we kind of touched on it on the Premier League preview show, but like 12
3
through
to
3
10.
is
12.
Insane. Like West Ham, they looked really good despite the loss to Debo.
And they barely got to play any of their new
Somerville,
players.
yeah, none of them played. And Aston Villa looked very, very good. Onana gets a goal in his first match. And I thought Morgan Rogers, like I owe him an apology. I was not familiar with his game. He was out of control good. The way he was carrying the ball through the midfield.
Dude, they have a ridiculous amount of talent that have come through their academy in the last 5-10 years that nobody even really realizes. Well, first of all, Chukwuemeka's career was ruined going to Chelsea, but I mean, I was on my knees for us to try and get him. He's an incredible. I mean, he's Onana with more ball carrying ability. He's incredible. I mean, Rodgers. They have Jacob and Aaron Ramsey.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got tons of players, and then John Duran, who they're trying to sell. Every time the guy fucking plays, he scores a goal.
It's actually insane. And
like,
the
I
way
don't know why
he took that is such a clinical finish. And it's for them who
he's so like for
if they want to
compete,
if they want to compete for top 4 and in the Champions League, it makes so much sense.
They got to
convince
him to stay.
I don't understand why they wouldn't. He's such a dynamic player too.
Like why go out
as
and
a
sign
super
João Felix when you could just keep John Duran, who's going to be cheaper? And I mean, Felix wasn't good in the Premier League when he came and played for 6 months.
By the way, he's so perfect in the fact that they just will have a ton of matches to play with so he can start, but even in every single situation where either Watkins isn't at his best, you bring on Duran, or they're down a goal, you play 2 strikers, or you want to kill off a game and you know you can hit him on the break and he comes in with his pick. Like in every situation, he's the perfect super sub, and they looked really good. Brighton looked really good. I mean, maybe that says more about Everton.
No,
but
one of my biggest takeaways was like Everton. First of all, the last home opener at Goodison Park gets throttled by a 31-year-old manager. 3-0 at home with shot like that. I could have seen Brighton winning, but the way they won was insane.
They're going to be really good. I thought Crystal Palace played fantastic despite actually losing, and I guess that goes more to say
I was a little bit let down by
really. Some of their interplay was really good.
The intensity was there for a team that ended last season so good. I thought they were going to come out firing, and I mean, listen, Mbeumo's great. I'm shocked that no big club is after him. I know, like
the way he took the first goal was
but
really
he's been doing that for like 3 years now in the Premier League, and no one cares.
But it's actually insane. Like Newcastle won as well. Like those spots
are in trouble. They were terrible.
I mean, those spots 3 through 10 is going to be 3 through 12 is going to be so much fun to watch. And I think parity-wise, not even in that because we knew that was coming. But I think a lot of teams, like I don't know if. Who'd you drop 6 points to? Fulham last year?
We dropped 6 to Villa and 4 to Fulham.
Yeah, like I don't think that'll happen, but like I think there's a lot of teams that can cause City and Arsenal some real issues this year.
That's why
that's why it's going to be so much fun.
I think 91 points probably wins the league, whereas like I mean, what did they win? They won on 94 last year. City 93. 93. We had 91 or 92, 90. Yeah. But I think like you if you go into the last day on 89 points, you probably win the league, which you haven't said for the last few years because I think you've really seen when it was City Liverpool, and then like a 20-point gap.
Yeah.
And then another like 20-point gap between 4th and 7th.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see the 20-point gap between Arsenal and Liverpool, or City and Liverpool, and then you're going to see like 12 points between like 4th and 7th, and then like another 4 between 7th and 12th. Like it's going to be great.
That was my biggest takeaway from the weekend is like this season is going to be so sick.
I mean, if you're Tottenham and Manchester United, like this is not going to be a walk to get 4th and 5th.
Manchester United, by the way, I mean, Xerxes might be.
That was the most obvious. Xerxes comes on and scores a 1-0.
Martial did it like
Martial, Anthony.
He might have the curse.
James.
Yeah, he might have the curse.
You don't want to score.
You don't want to score on the. And they just looked super underwhelming the entire match, which is shocking to literally no one. Casemiro is still playing the 6. Bruno Fernandes, I was a hater. He's turned me. He's fantastic.
Here's the thing, he's fantastic in these types of sides where they're not controlling the game. It's a lot of hero ball.
Sure, that's fine.
But like at Manchester United, like when they were been at their best, in my opinion, both under Ten Hag and under Ole, was when Bruno Fernandes was not even having good matches. Like it was when Rashford was at his best. It's when they were playing in tidy little spaces.
Rashford still looks lost of confidence.
I mean, I just don't think him under Ten Hag is it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Ten Hag thing or a confidence thing, but something I wanted to say after you said it, I think you said like Saka, whether or not he actually has aura, just this, you can tell how much confidence he has, and that is going to be so massive for the entire season. Like I was genuinely like blown away. It's not. I mean, Salah looked fine, but I agree. I'm ready to crown Saka as the best right winger in the Premier League.
I mean, he's the best right winger in the world. Who's a better right winger than him?
Rodrigo looked really good today.
Yeah, but he's not better than Saka. He's not. If you ask Manchester City if they could have Rodrigo or Saka right wing this year, they're taking Saka.
Savinho also, I mean, that's completely off tip. He looked really good,
but
he got injured. I know.
I mean,
they're going to sign someone 100%.
I think they might sign Rodrigo.
If Rodrigo's starting in that front three every time, there's no reason for him to leave yet. It's just once Endrick and Arda Güler overtake him, if they do, then he'll have to go, obviously.
Right,
but
like you don't want to wait if you're Rodrigo until it's at the point where nobody wants you.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen. He's too good.
Yeah,
he's too good.
He though? He's inconsistent.
I think he's really good. He has some of the quickest feet I've seen.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan. No, I mean it was a fun opening weekend. It was great to watch. A lot of good goals. Brighton were incredible. I mean,
and I hope by the time people are watching this, Tottenham had a 2-0 against Leicester City.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good sign that both Ipswich and Southampton did not look great. Ipswich looked okay in the first half. I don't know what you saw, but they were not good in the second half.
It would be a shame if we couldn't get off to 3 points against a relegation favorite. I'd be pretty sad. But Udogie's ready and Solanke's ready.
And you signed fucking what's his name from
Burnley. And there's another incoming player, a midfielder. Apparently, is his name João Gomez? Or is that the PSG guy? Who's the Wolves?
The one on Wolves.
Yeah, apparently we're signing him. Which
that would be because getting $20 million for Oliver Skip is insane.
Insane. Best business.
I'm sorry, like both Eddie Nketiah and Reece Nelson are worth well more than that.
Oliver Skip is atrocious. I saw a tweet. If Oliver Skip is worth $25 million, on my couch worth $4 million. Like that was so good.
I think a big thing this window has been, especially for Arsenal fans, and I don't know how much like other people are privy to this, is like everyone's like, why aren't we just taking the $20 million for Eddie Nketiah? Like, because if Oliver Skip's going for $20 million, Eddie Nketiah is worth $30 million.
The fact that
he has proven he can score goals when he's called upon. Anytime he's been asked to start matches, 7 out of 10 times he plays a good match. Like, he's a goal-scoring player.
I think that's also the problem with the intra Premier League transfers. Like, you just automatically get that 7 to 10 mil bump.
100%.
Like, if Oliver Skip's going to France,
he's 8
might as well be $5 million. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing with Marseille. I don't know. I mean, I was surprised that
Fabrizio keeps tweeting about Mason Greenwood.
Not surprised by that. He'll do anything for money.
It's actually insane.
No, I'm surprised that Bournemouth didn't want Eddie Nketiah. I really am. I thought that was a perfect fit for
By the way, I think Evan Nielsen's a fantastic signing for them.
I don't know. Evan Nielsen, a striker from Porto, that kind of just has like fucking bust written all over it. Like, how many times have we seen that actually work out?
I think he's quality. I really do.
This is when you're going to tell me he's a better goal scorer than Gabriel Martinelli.
Who did I say him and Taremi were more clinical than when you guys were playing? Yeah, which is probably a fact. How much longer are we going to do the Martinelli experience before it's going to cost you guys the Premier League?
He did not look good at all.
He's not good.
But we still haven't addressed the left-hand side dynamics, which is the point of Miguel Merino.
Sure.
If he still looks like that when Merino gets in and they've played 5 games with Merino, Rice, Odegaard midfield, or Rice, Nwaneri, Odegaard midfield, if they've played 5 games like that and he still looks like that, I will start to change my team.
My problem just still stands. Like, Havertz had a brilliant header, and that's probably what he's best for.
He was fantastic.
He missed a couple chances again.
He missed one chance.
I will stand pat. That front three will never win the Premier League. It's just not good enough.
Well, you're calling it a front three. It's a rotational 5. That's the same thing City has. Nobody...
Okay, sure, but the front three on a team sheet, that front three is not good enough. Whether or not they interchange, it's not.
Saka and Havertz combined are good enough. They are.
Oh, okay, that's 2.
Okay, and the mix.
Havertz needs to be the worst of the three.
I think you're still your picture of Kai Havertz is what Nicholas Jackson is instead of what Kai Havertz is.
No, I disagree because Kai Havertz does more. I've admitted
Kai
that.
Havertz has 15 goal contributions in his last 13
he allows people
matches.
to thrive off of him, but again, that will only get you so far. Eventually, you need your striker to be clinical, and I understand that makes no sense after he's coming
He was
off of a
clinical
goal.
in that game.
It's a brilliant header.
It's
a result of an unreal cross, and
but
whenever he's forced,
best
100%. But whenever he's forced to do a little more than the norm, it breaks down for him.
I just still think you're a little bit behind the 8 ball on this.
Just out of curiosity, I forgot to do one of these, but
something or
yeah. Would you rather Solanke or Havertz?
Havertz not even close.
It's not close for you.
I don't think it's close for pretty much anybody.
Really?
I think Dominic Solanke is very good. He's had one great season.
I agree. I think it's expensive.
It's he went for the same price as Havertz. He's older. He's done less in his career.
Yeah.
He has scored fewer goals.
No,
He's less versatile.
As a Tottenham fan, I'm not sold by it. The only thing is Ange apparently is obsessed with him, and it's the perfect profile for the Ange system. So if that's what he wanted,
listen,
then
it's not
I'm
our money.
good
I think
with
it's
it.
a good sign for Tottenham.
I think
if it doesn't affect your other signings, I think it's a good signing for
right.
Tottenham.
I mean, clearly we're bringing in another midfielder, so clearly.
Well, because you're selling off 10% of your club.
Correct. Which is, by the way, exactly what we talked about. We're doing the Arsenal turnover. And by the way, it took a shorter amount of time than I thought.
No, I was saying Levy is divesting 10% of the club to somebody else, so you're getting cash inflows.
Oh, yes, that's also true, but we've also sold off so many
Yeah, you've
players.
gotten a lot of players still.
What
you got for Emerson Royale also, ridiculous.
Emerson Royale, I mean, Lo Celso's still going to
Is
go.
Jet Spence
Hoybier.
their backup right back?
Yeah. I'm perfectly fine with
Worth
that.
a shot.
Yeah. And, if worse comes to worse, Dragusin or Romero could play the right back position. Not really in the Ange system, but, if you
don't want that.
No, not at all.
No,
I'm
but
happy to
actually,
have kept Spence.
so I'm doing this podcast with Paul Robinson now, the former Tottenham goalkeeper, and he was saying what I think is actually exactly right, and I think for a long time for Arsenal before Arteta, it was kind of the reason we were not progressing is at this point you're good enough to be 4th place.
Yes.
You should not spend money on someone unless they are better than the person in that position.
100%.
Which I think the Solanke signing was a smart signing because he's better than Richarlison.
I don't know about that, by the way.
He's definitely
When Richarlison is fit, he is a very,
Richarlison's a
very
huge
good
when
striker.
player, though. He's a huge when this, when that, if this, if that. It's never consistent with him.
Sure.
It's not.
But I think that's a fitness thing, not a when he's
but that's at
consistently
this point.
playing.
But
When he
he's
got
the
that
player
run of
he
10
is.
games last season, he was
But
fantastic.
he is the player that he is at this point in his career.
Sure.
So there's no more when and if. This is the player that you have. This is what he does.
Okay.
So I think Solanke was a good signing. I think getting João Gomez is a good signing. I think who's the other fucking player you signed? Oh no, we were talking about if you brought in a center midfielder because you've been linked with Locatelli. That would be a good sign.
Agreed.
There's no reason to go get, if you didn't have Jet Spence, go getting a Jet Spence type player. That wouldn't make any sense to spend right now.
If we're real about potentially winning an FA Cup, winning a cup, competing in Europa League, and competing for top 4 in Premier League, you definitely need a solid backup option. We're at that point where we need solid backups. And injuries,
You need wing backs still. You need a left back.
Is it yeah, I'm not even going to say it. Ben Davis has been a great servant to the club, and if he's our backup left back, I'm fine.
Once you get past realizing great servant to the club means he's just
your
shit.
ass.
Yeah. That, it took me, because I used to think that about Rob Holding. He's been a great servant, he's always good when you get called upon, and then we had to call upon him, and he
actually sucks.
Yeah, no, he's shit.
When you get called upon.
He's great
That's
once.
fair enough.
No, but it's funny because I think that's such a mindset for such a long time, and then you look at City, they don't have any great servants to the club.
No, they just have good
class twice in every single position, and that's how you win.
No, that's a good point.
Or look at Chelsea; they have just shit at every position 4 times over.
The worst part is that they're actually good. You just can't get into a routine. And by the way, the video of them all in the weight room was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Someone quoted me, it's there's no way everyone knows each other's names.
Dude, they bought a goalkeeper who has 2 senior appearances for £20 million.
9 goalkeepers on the books.
They have 8 senior goalkeepers. 8 that are senior players, non-academy goalkeepers. 8.
It's insane.
We have 2.
All right.
2.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Americans abroad?
Yeah, predictions for Tottenham Leicester?
It's at home?
No. At the KP.
3-0 Tottenham.
Wow, thank you. I appreciate that.
This is my belief in Tottenham. Like, they will play these types of teams and completely suffocate them in the first 20 minutes and fucking hammer them down. And then against some of the better sides, they're going to struggle, and that's why they're going to be 4th place. I think they will 100% make top 4. I think Ange is the perfect manager for Tottenham. He is a perfect 3rd, 4th place manager. That is his ceiling, but that is where he will be.
This is also the most backing and clearing out support-wise we've ever given a manager, which for me is the most exciting.
No, for sure. I think it's the same for him and Ten Hag at this point. Like, this summer, they've both been shown that here's all the money, get it done, but if you don't do what you say you're going to do, then I don't know what next is.
But for Ten Hag, you can't just recreate what you had at Ajax and expect it to work. You brought in Van de Beek, he sucked. You brought in Antony, he sucked. What makes you think De Ligt and Mazraoui are going to fix all your issues?
Oh my God, there's this one United account that's so annoying. He was like, wow, I can't believe we have Mazraoui. He is so comfortable, easily a top 5 wingback in the Premier League. Like, no, he's not. Like, first of all, you guys were fucking shit against a shit fucking Fulham side. Fulham were terrible in that game, and they still were in it until the end.
Yeah.
At home, at OT. Like,
Emile Smith-Rowe, a little bit of an underwhelming performance.
Very underwhelming. I mean, you could see why we sold them for the money we sold them for. It was the right sale. We got £40 million for a player who's made 4 appearances.
I mean, it's about to come out on my TikTok. I'm grading transfers from the summer. I'm like, if he wasn't good enough for Arsenal, why is everyone acting like he's going to revolutionize his Fulham side?
He'll have a run of games where he's going to score 6-7 goals in 10 games, and he's going to look incredible, and then he's going to get hurt. And that's the player he is, and it kills me, but that's the same thing I said about Charleston. Like, you get to a certain point in your career, you are the player you are.
Okay.
Like, injury follows you, then injury follows you.
Yeah. All right, Americans abroad update from match week number 1 across Europe. Haji Wright scored 2 goals, including a late winner for Coventry City in their 3-2 win. He's picking up right where he left off. Last year, Josh Sargent, you told me that we can probably stop talking about him, but he did have a goal and assist for Norwich as they got a point against Blackburn. Chris Richards started at right center back for Crystal Palace in their 2-1 loss to Brentford. Pulisic started at the 10 for AC Milan. It seems like they are trying out the Chukwueze Pulisic Leao 3. Interesting to see how he'll do at the 10. He had 3 shots, none on target, but people said it was a pretty good performance from him. Yunus Musa came on for Pulisic and had the assist that got them a late point in extra time. It seems as though Weston McKennie may be back in the plans at Juventus under Thiago Motta, as they are looking into a potential contract extension for him now, after it seemed like it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to be done. Balogun got the start for Monaco in their 1-0 win, registered 1 shot on target. It seems like they're going to be consistently playing a 4-4-2, so he should be starting almost every single match for Monaco, which is really good. Tim Ream officially completed his transfer to Charlotte FC, so he's now in the MLS. We'll see how that impacts him for the camp coming up in around a month. Tanner Tessman was not in the squad for Venezia's first match, as he is still looking for a transfer to a bigger club. Buzio was also not in the squad. I'm not sure what.
He's still injured from.
From the Olympics. Yep. Anthony Robinson started and played the full 90 against Manchester United, and Malik Tillman has started at the 10 for both matches for PSV so far, already recording his first goal of the season. As if you guys watched our reaction to Pochettino, I explained how excited I am potentially about him playing the 10 for the United States, rotating with Gio Reyna out on that right attacking mid as well position. And if he's consistently getting those minutes at the 10 for PSV, I think that could be really good for him.
No, for sure. And first of all, if you haven't watched our Pochettino reaction, it's not too late. Go watch it right now.
Yep.
Nothing new has happened since we recorded it. Very, very exciting. It's a good video. Anthony Robinson, why is he so good for Fulham and so shit for us?
It's a fantastic question that I have not been able to figure out yet.
He was incredible. I mean, he looked exactly like how he looked to them last year. He was attacking.
So direct.
He was direct.
Good defense again.
Good defense. He was the best player for Fulham on the pitch.
I really wish I had the answer for you.
Maybe under Pochettino. I mean, under Pochettino, theoretically, really fits it.
Could be Danny Rose. Literally just could be Danny Rose.
Tons of assists. His delivery could be great.
Yep. I agree.
But
we need to see it because he was one of the most disappointing players at the Copa.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But we'll be updating the Americans so you can keep up to date with what is going on with them abroad. It should be another huge season. We should be getting the best out of them as they have to impress. Pochettino, new manager in, and now we won't get lazy performances knowing they'll be automatically called up to camp. So I'm excited to watch the Americans.
Did you see Haji Wright's goals?
Yeah, he's
too good for that level.
He is really good.
Like, he might win championship top scorer. Like, I think
and didn't get any minutes in Copa. It just whatever.
But dude,
he's out, so I don't care.
He's like really fucking good.
He's really fucking good.
Like, I was blown away by both goals.
He, like, as we talked about for Copa, it needed to be 60 Ballo, 30 Haji. Or play him out on the left wing if Pulisic wants to play the 10.
You see Ricardo Pepi played for the PSV under-21s last week?
I saw he didn't play for PSV.
He played for the under-21s.
Why?
No idea.
Maybe because he sucks, as I've been telling you.
Well,
whatever. Balogun and Haji Wright are two strikers.
Yeah.
I know you think Haji's not a striker, but...
No, I think Haji is a striker.
Oh, you don't want to play left.
Don't want to
play
left.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, that seems... Two strikers who are...
He's so clutch, too. Like, he scored so many clutch goals in the country.
Always.
Clutch goals for us.
By the way, we talked about it. How is he not one who's... That's
what I'm saying. We still have a lot of guys who need transfers, too. Like, what's Tim Weah doing? What's Wesley McKinney doing? What's Tanner Tessman doing? What's Matt Turner doing? Like, these are guys who we need to see
being
play.
Fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
The goalie situation. I didn't even update it. What's his name?
Slonina?
No. Horvath.
Yeah.
Do you see his own goal?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's a nightmare, the goalkeeping position. Alright, anyways, hopefully Tottenham gets 3 points, and we will see you after the next Premier League weekend. Any big matches? Match week 2, do you know?
I don't even know. Let's take a quick look. I feel like we have a huge match like pretty soon in our schedule.
The greatest thing, and kind of what I was speaking
we
to...
play Aston Villa this weekend.
Yeah. What I was speaking to is there's almost like what previously wouldn't be looked at as like a massive match, but I think like when you guys go to the Amex, like I think that's a huge match for you.
Like, I mean, we're literally playing Aston Villa away next weekend.
Right, like I'm so excited to watch that.
And Manchester United's going to the Amex to play Brighton, and it's the early kickoff. Never back the early kickoff. Everyone knows that.
Yep.
And then Liverpool Brentford as well. I mean, there's some good matches. Even Tottenham Everton. Like, Sean Dyche is never easy to play through, even when he comes off of a shit match. And Crystal Palace West Ham, like, I feel like it's back like in 2016 when like those matches were so sick. Like
Crystal Palace West Ham is gonna be so much fun.
Like when Southampton was incredible for that couple of year period. Like there's a lot of that action right now. I think for a while, like with the City Liverpool dominance, the rest of the league kind of suffered. And even though like Arsenal City are so much better, it feels like the money like kind of. I think COVID fucked up a lot of these smaller clubs where they couldn't spend so much.
Agreed.
And now everyone's recovering.
No, I was about like all the business that these mid-table clubs have been doing, like West Ham's business,
West Ham,
Brighton. I mean, all doing insanely good business.
Villa did ridiculous business this summer.
It's going to be exciting. Hit the subscribe button. We'll have reactions to pretty much every single match week. And hit the subscribe button because we'll be streaming if you're here for the U.S. men's national team stuff with the camp coming up.
We're going to do a lot of coverage once we have a little bit more news on when Pochettino's actually taking over. May not be in charge for those September friendlies. But either way, we'll cover whatever the squad is that's selected, whoever manages those, and live streams for those games.
Yep.
Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Follow us on all of our socials. We're always talking Premier League and Americans abroad.
Peace.